Hello. Good morning, Mo. Hello, and welcome back to the Let's Face It podcast. Today we're joined by my friend from away down County Down under, Mckenna. This episode is proudly sponsored by Joxer. Joxer, they have three... I was going to say 3 outlets, 3 restaurants, one in Bangor, one in Hillsborough and one in Lisburn. Go check them out. They are unbelievable. Get a nice wee matcha and a nice wee healthy breakfast if you want to go after a sea dip in Bangor on the way back. Lovely. Or else you can actually go, you can have a wee, you go for a wee date there, Caroline, if you want.
Always up for a date.
And you can get a wee drink and a wee cocktail if you want. If you can drink responsibly on like moi, but you can't do that. Chicken waffles, wee bit of honey over the top. Great. What else did I have?
We're going after this, sorry.
You taking me?
Yeah, it's the only date I have.
Right, let's go in. Yeah, same. Fuck's sake.
You left me on the video.
Yeah, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Joxer and tell them we sent you and they'll look after you. So yeah, big thanks to Lindsay and team for your help and your support. It's been great, and it's, you know what I mean, Carnine's hard to get, so it's all the money. I'm only joking.
I'm like, all the money go, I don't see any of it.
So no, thanks to Joxer, and please go to Joxer because it's a lovely spot, and they're big fans of all the comedians podcasts and all too. They're great supporters of local people, so thank you. Check out their website and we'll fire all the stuff in. Yeah, cheers. Carnine,
don't know
what's the crack?
Good to finally.
I know we haven't I've been on Carnine's podcast. She ditched before I got her on my podcast. She came to the live event. Like we've
crossed paths, and I just use your studio, just use and abuse, really. So
it's fine, I'm used to it.
Yeah. It's good to be here, Donald. Like on your podcast as a guest.
It's good to have you. What's the crack?
Very little. You know, life's crazy, life's busy, but just taking each day as it comes, trying not to let it all get to my head, trying not let it overwhelm me, and also, you know, give me a big head. So I'm trying to get that nice wee in between, which is a daily battle.
Do you ever find yourself drifting?
Yeah.
In terms of following, like, pound signs or whatever, it doesn't really matter about that, but like things going on an upward trajectory, it's very hard for your feet not to lift too, isn't it? Absolutely.
I find that I go through phases of being very present and in the moment and thinking all that matters is family, love, you know, connections. And then other days where I'm looking at my Instagram follow and going, why hasn't that moved? And I know the person I want to be and like portray to other people the importance of those things in life, like to be the best person. But the truth is that life hits you every single day, no matter how much work you do in yourself. There will always be these little demons and little voices in your head that can be self-sabotaging.
So true. Last time, Annette,
cut. Make sure to add that out.
Last time at me and Annette's event, I could have just went that. Sorry. So last time I was chatting to you was me and Annette's event in the Devonish, and it was actually me interviewing you because we were trying to like change it up, and I actually remember coming over to you like whenever I don't even know who was on stage, and I was like, Caroline, will you fuck up?
It was the first 5 minutes. It was like Mckenna was chatting to me, and like I was starstruck. He was talking to me about Wim Hof, and he's the loudest man, and he just goes around as soon as the bloody show started, and he goes, tell me about Wim Hof. And I was like, I can't not talk to Mckenna. Like, so it's like being caught in school, you know, whenever your mate starts chatting to you, but you get caught, and then you were like, fuck off. And I was like, it was Mick. So yeah, apologies. That was a class night though.
That was a lethal night, and thanks so much for being part of it. But the last time we were chatting in front of people, you were getting ready for Kilimanjaro, and you were getting ready to raise a few quid to go, and you were bringing a team with you, and you're just back last week.
I got back on Friday, Donald. You know, it's one of those things in life where I can be my own worst enemy. I've just achieved something I never thought I could achieve. I've spent 6 months panicking, worrying, will I make it to the top? I've put it all over my Instagram. What if I don't actually get there? What if the altitude sickness gets to me? And I've achieved it. And I haven't let that sunk in and just be like, thinking and, you know, just say, well done, fair play. I'm always on to the next thing and being like, right, next. I never look back at my achievements. It was truly amazing, life-threatening at times. You know, that night in the summit night, it's -14. There's very little oxygen in the air. Every step you take, we're summiting from 10 p.m. at night to 6 a.m. You haven't really slept that night. They tell you to go to bed, get a couple of hours kip after hiking all day, and then we're going to get up for the summit. You don't sleep. And before I even left to go to do the summit, my water bottle froze over because it's so cold and you need your water to hydrate and stuff. So there's all these things going on in your head. I've also taken a group of people over with me, and I'm hoping that they're going to be okay because they're with me, you know. And it's only in those moments that you think, shit, this is the big boy stuff here. This isn't for Instagram. This isn't like just a walk in the park. This is dangerous. It's the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Like it's not for kids. Like, and yeah, it was the scariest time of my life. But every step I took, I just kept remembering how powerful your mind is, and that's all you have. You mean, I was prepared fitness wise. I was ready to go. But at the end of the day, you can talk your mind into absolutely anything. And there was times during that walk where I thought, I'm not going to make this. And then I had to say, see that voice in there, shush. This other voice is coming in and saying, you are going to make it. Just put one foot in front of the other. And I use that, you know, metaphor in all parts of my life of like, no matter what mountain you climb, just put one foot in front of the other. And made it to the top, 5,500 meters up above the clouds. You know, helicopters can't even get up that high. Like it was insane. Beautiful moment, but definitely something that I don't sit and think about enough. And that's something I need to work on in myself and just say, well done. Like, stop trying to achieve something else. Just sit in that for a little bit and be proud of yourself.
Are you proud of yourself?
I am, yeah.
Hard saying that though, isn't it?
It is hard. I mean, it's the same for you. Look at all the amazing work you do. I think you're amazing, but no, I do. But like telling you that I think you're amazing, you know, it's kind of like what we do is we're like, oh yeah, thanks. But we're our own worst enemies, you know. I was just after our podcast that I recorded there with Daniel, I went to the shop there and I just happened to flick on my phone and I just announced obviously this new business venture, which I was so excited about. And one person had written underneath it saying, you know, you're actually a detriment to so many people's mental health. Like, this grown man wrote under one of my posts and I thought, shit, like, and I'm letting that sit with me more than all the amazing things that I've done, you know. So it's hard. Like, it's every day is a battle. Every hour I think I have to work on myself, and it's not easy.
It's not easy, you're right. And I think even for people like that take the time and post that, you're like, where's the real problem lie here? Do you know what I mean? For someone who sort of has half a wit about them, probably wouldn't do that. Do you know what I mean? But it's easier me saying that, because if that happened to me, I'd be crawling into a corner, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So it's alright for say, it's alright because he's an idiot, but at the end of the day, words hurt, like, and that's what comes with it, really, isn't it? And it's hard and it's sad and it's how do we rise above it? But let's what else is a crack? So what is the business you launched? More to the point.
It's called Nurturing Minds, and
Nurturing Minds.
It's a very exciting opportunity for me to just bring in my teaching experience. I'm going to be opening a tutoring centre, but it's also going to be a wellbeing centre for primary and secondary kids. So I'm trying to, you know, teach the things that I wish I learnt in school, like how to breathe properly, how to look after my head, my anxiety, and the importance of sleep, and also like incorporate that whole importance of traveling the world and putting yourself out of your comfort zone. So it's going to be an after school, hopefully centre and community for kids. I've got PIPs involved that they're going to hopefully be providing counselling services once a week, if not once a month, for the local community as well. So it's just going to be a centre, Donal, for everybody to feel like they're in a safe space. And
valued.
Yeah.
And it's class. And is this going to be in Newcastle?
It's in Castlewellan. So it opens on January the 8th. It's all getting ready now, ready to go. And I mean, it could open sooner, but I'm never in the country. And I'm the kind of person where if I say something, I need to do it then and there. Like, instead of thinking, right, I've got quite a busy few months, maybe look at it next year. I'm like, no, this is important. Let's get it done. So I don't make life easy for myself. It's a bit of pressure. It's scary, you know, taking on your own business and lease and all of those things. But when you're truly passionate about something and you care about something, that weighs in more than all the fear that comes with it. So hopefully all goes well.
That's class. We'll have
Thank
to
you.
get that in the diary and go to the launch.
I'd love you to.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have guest speakers in. I'd love you to be one of them, to come down and talk to people. So
you don't have to ask me because I've invited myself, Caroline.
I'd have you.
Like, people can see through this shit.
No, Donald. See, this is you self-sabotaging again. We love him, like.
Yeah. I'm a detriment to the people down there. I'm actually around the corner in Leitrim, actually coaching their camogie team.
Come here, my family's from Leitrim.
You're joking me?
Yeah, like that's my doctor's in Leitrim. Like it's,
really?
but not many people know Leitrim, so it's class. You know, it's not County Leitrim; it's Leitrim outside of Castlefallen.
It's a lovely part of the world now, isn't it?
It's unreal. Unreal.
Falling in love with it, so I am. I'm like,
It's quiet, isn't it?
attached. Going down there 3 nights a week, it's great. We're actually down tonight, me and Eamon. He loves it, don't you?
Good man.
But no, that's lethal. Really, good luck. Like, good luck to you. That's unbelievable. And there is a space for it, Caroline, and it's so important. And it's like, I went and I was doing a talk the other week for these companies, and they were asking about this program that's being implemented now within Ireland, but it's part of like the GAA branch in Movember. And then they were like, asked me to speak at it, and I was going through the program and what it is, and just trying to. It's like a collaboration of 3 organisations coming together, and I was like, do you know what though? Like, forget about all that. If you were to ask 15-year-old Donald what did he need, and it's something like this, like, and it's like same for you and what you're doing, and you're right, it makes it all the easier to sign dotted lines and give away money when you're following your dream and your purpose. Like, so, kudos to you.
Thank
That's
you.
Unreal.
Thank you.
What else is happening?
What else?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
You
can ask me anything.
Oh, that's right. It's me actually.
But like, you can go. Like, I'm an open book.
No, I know. See the separation part.
Yeah.
In terms of identity. So do you know the way I introduced you is like, and I had a joke about it because me and you joke about it, like, because I'd be like the be in Australia or whatever, like, and we joke. But there's a serious side to that too, because I'm trying to like. Not just you know what I'm trying to do. It's just making it funny, but see the identity of like a county down under versus like Caroline Mckenna or Caroline Mckenna from a county down under, or whatever way you want to put it. Have you found it hard for Caroline?
It's a really good question, actually. No one's ever asked me it before. Don't know. It's really hard. Like, I find that I am one person for everybody online, but the real Caroline, you know, that my family only know, would say, you know, this can't be you. Like, you're this motivational, all about mental health and promoting positive mental health and positivity online. You can't be talking to yourself like this. I would be like very anxious as a person. I don't actually like being in front of the camera. Like, people think, you know, she's doing her makeup online, or she's like posting all these videos, she must be so confident. I panic all the time. I'm nervous. I was nervous coming here today, hoping that it went well. Nervous about even asking you, can I come here? You know, like, I'm like a real anxious person, and it's tough. Like, and this kind of industry is quite lonely. I'm used to being a teacher and being in the staff room, being around, you know, the only people you had to please was the kids and the parents. But now you're like in front of this stage where people can say whatever they want to, and I know that it's a double-edged sword, social media, and there's lots that come with it. But I do, like, I struggle with it. I find it really hard for people to see that there's a Caroline behind a County Down Under. Like, people will shout to me, County Down Under, and I'm like, my name's Caroline. Like, I'm Caroline, and I'm not allowed to have a bad day. I'm not allowed to like be off duty, if you call it. I just climbed Kilimanjaro for 7 days with a group of people that follow me, who I took with me, and I felt a lot of pressure to constantly be on form. Like, I felt like I couldn't say, I'm shitting myself. Like, I'm worried here. I had to be that, we've got this team, you know, because that's a County Down Under. And it's crazy. What people don't know behind the scenes is, like, I don't have a lot of confidence when it comes to even the idea of a relationship. You know, I would think, why would anyone want to be with me? You know, like this kind of madness. But it's hard to separate it. And there's times where I've been out in public settings and someone might follow me on Instagram and other people might not know who the hell I am. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. But someone might say, she's a stuck up bitch. Like, you know, because she didn't stop for 10 minutes and inspire us, you know, because I might be just walking with my dad in the morning and that's my time in the morning. I've gone like in the morning with my dad. We go every single morning for sunrise coffee, and that's very important for my mindset. And you know, I've gone in to order my coffee and there's times someone stopped me and said, Caroline, like, I love your page, did it, lovely stuff. But in my head I'm thinking, fuck, like I'm not ready for this. Like I need like a couple hours in the morning just to be Caroline. And then I feel very like I have to put it on and really be like, yeah, of course, amazing. There's times where my Sunrise Social's on in Newcastle every Saturday. I couldn't go to it. I couldn't actually go and be a county down under because I wasn't feeling up to it, you know. People don't see that side, and maybe people would be a little bit kinder when they are approaching you, and even just online. I mean, 9 times out of 10 people are amazing, but you're human at the end of the day. I don't know, it's a funny world.
No, it is a funny world, but how would you be open to sharing that side, do you?
I don't know how I would do it without the fear of more scrutiny.
People being like, she's putting it on.
Yeah, or that's what you get for putting yourself online. That's a comment I get a lot.
You're
that's
right.
What you get.
That double-edged sword. You're right. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And that's so true. But yeah, and it's like nearly building that sort of toolkit or whatever it is. So like you have that with your dad and you respect that space, and there's a boundary there of like, no, this is time for me to be me, and like it just takes time. And we talked about it there and with Daniel about like you know, they were really know it all. Like, they were really know anything, you know, until like I said it there the other week on a podcast. Like if you didn't laugh at yourself a year ago, then you're doing it wrong. Like, because you know some of the things that you probably done a year ago, and you're like, oh, you're curling up the ball, and then now you're like feeling more confident. So I don't know. It's all an experience, isn't it, of exploring and I don't know, finding out what this mad world is all about. But we don't need that. We don't need the people dragging us down. So all the more important for having good people. And like how much do you value that then? I know you value your dad and spending time with him in the mornings, but even like your circle, we touched on there about like we were chatting before the podcast about, you know, maybe before you would have went in open of an envelope, but now you're a lot more selective in terms of what you do and who you spend time with. And talk to me about that, because even for girls in a space where we're talking about like scary world in it, and my wee sister who you met actually, Brooke, she
lovely girl. Yeah,
but she was, you know, she's a teenager, she's in school and all the things that come with that without getting too much into it, but it's difficult, and it's like because we feel like not even just people at that age, but even me, and not really me anymore, but the old me, and it's like you feel like you need to be in this group because it's cool, and they get loads of photos for Snapchats and they're fucking whatever, and it's nearly enough the same from your 13 you walk in the first year till you kind of go, fuck, I actually don't even care about being in that friend group, and it's up to us to figure that out. So people could live their whole lives like that, nearly just looking to be seen with Caroline Mckenna, but I don't want to be seen with you, I want to be with you.
Yeah.
Because I like you, I know you, I like you as Caroline.
Yeah.
Not anyone else.
Yeah.
So I value you and your time, not because of what you do on social media.
Yeah.
So how much do you value that then, in terms of being selective?
Yeah, it's very important to me, Donal, and it's something that, I mean, I've gone down that path of, and I've been really honest about this, where I've had people in my life who I just wanted to be friends with because they were somebody with a name, you know, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I started my Instagram page, I started falling into hanging out with all these other bloggers, whatever you call them. You know, not people that I actually truly valued. And any time I was in their company, it was like we had to be like, let's put a photo up of each other and let's tag each other and let's do this and let's do that. And there was no real, I mean, I wouldn't have known the name of their mother or their father. You know, it wasn't real valued friendships. It's very important to me now. I think since coming back to Ireland, I know I talk about Australia a lot, but when you're away from the people that you've grown up with your whole life, like whether that's your role model as your uncle or your granny or your parents, at the end of the day, if you're letting them down in any way, that kind of is your moral compass. And if you're away from that moral compass, which I was for a long time, you've kind of got free reign to do whatever the fuck you want. Like you do. Like there's no one saying, Caroline, clap yourself on. So it wasn't until I moved home last December that I caught myself saying a few things, and that's what Mckenna was saying, you know, like you nearly cringe now thinking of it, but like my family would say, Caroline, no one gives a shit. Like, your Instagram, we don't care about. We're not interested. We don't really like that you're even on it, whatever. And then I pull myself back. I'm like, shit, that's what matters. So I have to come back and I have to reassess it every couple of months. Like, what is my purpose? What is my why? I have got caught up in the Instagram world many times where I have gone to the opening of an envelope. I've wanted to be seen with other bloggers. I get offended if I wasn't invited to an event. All of that shit. I mean, I have people that will message me on Instagram, like plastic surgeons, saying, we will fly you out to Turkey and do your teeth, do your boobs, do your thing. And do you not think that's appealing? Fucking sure. Right, I know. Sorry about this. But like, offering to transform you. And like, there's parts of me that is like, well, that'll make me more Instagrammable. This will be more photogenic. And you get caught up in it, Donal. And I have to come back to, why did I start this page? And I started this page as a teacher, seeing the likes of like teaching girls like your sister who are looking up to the wrong role models in life. I need to remember I didn't go into this to be friends with those kinds of people. Those were the people that I actually found no similarity in my life at all. Their lives were picture perfect, these bloggers online, and that's not my life. And I couldn't, when I was struggling, I couldn't relate to anything that they were doing because they were all getting engaged and they had these perfect relationships and perfect bodies. And I need to remember that, yes, I might stand against the grain and people might judge me for it. Like, I'll come online without my makeup done and I'll not be exactly, I'm not like a real girly girl, like do lads things. You know, going to Wim Hof wasn't really a real girly girl thing to do, but I'm trying to be different so that I can set a different standard for like girls like your sister. But it's hard. Like, there's times you think, oh, fuck, it'd be just easier just to like hang out with all these people or go to that. Yeah. Do you know? Go to Turkey and, you know, like, yeah, it'd be nice to have bigger boobs and all. But yeah, like, I'm just trying to be a better role model, but at times it is hard, you know?
So hard. And it's like, and for all that, like that appearance stuff, and you just mentioned there, like about, listen, I have no problem. I've only after talking to Daniel there about fucking porn. Do you know what I mean? It's hard conversations, but even in terms of appearance and your boobs and not feeling, I don't know, like your body's as nice as fucking Katie Price or not, but you know, models.
You're showing your age there.
I don't know any models. I'm trying to think. Don't know any, but they're looking up to that and trying to strive towards that. And I suppose by you being open about that is like, thanks, that's class, because it's not easy. Do you know, it's not easy. But what about then? You touched there on maybe the pressures of maybe being at that age of like, you're in your 30s and like you're looking around you, maybe some of the people you went to school with are having kids, and you're like, do you feel pressure with that? And like, if you do, what does that feel like, and how do you like overcome that? Because there's loads of people, even people my age, are like, you know, buying houses and doing this, and they're getting married, and they're like having kids and whatever, maybe coming into their 30s, and you're like, like do you know?
Yeah.
But it's very easy to be like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm not like on this path of life.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's not the path of life. That's just their path of life. And we all think we need to live in this world of, we talk about it all the time about having your ducks in a row, and fucking you go to school, you go to secondary school, go to a formal, might meet someone, might not, but whatever. And then you go to university, you meet someone, then you get married, and you have kids, and then you get a 9 to 5, and then you die.
Yeah.
That's like, boom. And that's like, we don't need to follow that. How do you feel about that? Like, do you ever get like uneasy about it, or are you
massively? Not as much now, but when I was 29, as soon as I turned 29, I started to mourn the idea of turning 30. Like, I spent a whole year worrying about turning 30, and because I thought, Donald, truthfully, at 27 that I would be married, I'd have a house, I'd have a gorgeous husband, kids, a dog, you know, all of these things. And I'm single at 32. My dog died a couple of months ago. Not funny. And I'm living with my parents. Like, I am going completely against the grain. And if I had have told myself this as a 17-year-old, you know, come back to the future and say, just so you know, Caroline, 17-year-old you, I'm 32 now, and you haven't achieved any of those things, I'd be thinking, Jesus, what a failure. Yeah. But then I look at what I have achieved in my life, and it's only since my sister had a baby there 6 months ago. It's our first baby in the family, my niece Fia. And once my sister got pregnant, I felt a bit like, a little bit of resentment, like, she's younger than me, like, fuck, like, why have she's got it all figured out and I don't? And then my niece came along and she's the biggest blessing in our whole family, but there's still a little bit of gratefulness in me that, like, I get to have that little bit of, like, baby bonding time, but also I'm like, fuck, I'm really not ready for this. Like, this is... And I think that was a big eye-opener for me, was seeing just the amount that my sister's had to give up in her own life to be a mother. Like, it's... Parents don't get enough credit, like, on what they do. Like, your life is completely revolved around your child, and I'm not ready to give up. There's so many more goals I need to achieve before I'm ready. But it's scary, don't know. Like, I mean, you're a woman. Like, you think, fuck, how many eggs have I got left? Like, do you know, I don't know. It's always this risk. And I always say, if I was to be reincarnated, I'd love to be a lad, because the stresses just don't compare. We are a ticking time bomb. But every time I go into that, shit, what if I never meet someone? Like, I'm 32. Yes, I've gone on a few dates, but, like, I want to meet a class person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. What if I never meet that person? Or what if I think I've met that person and then 6 months in I'm like, fuck, you're really not that person? How will I even know if that's the person I want to have kids with? There's so much that comes with it. And I think you said it, you know, whenever you start thinking about, like, talking about your feelings, the good thing is that you start to feel, but the bad thing is, I've totally butchered this, but, like, you've got your feelings again. It's doing all this work that we're doing and trying to be that person online. You're exposing yourself to a very vulnerable Caroline, and there's a lot of scary things that come with it. So yeah, I worry all the time, and then I try and portray this online about, you're in your 30s, it's all good, it's all rosy. But yeah, there is still a part of me thinking, yeah, but at some stage you need to like think about maybe freezing your eggs or meeting someone, or there's, like, it's crazy. It's I don't know how to explain it, but that's normal and that's life. And I just keep thinking, anytime I panic like that, God has a bigger plan. I just have to remember that God has a bigger plan. God has a bigger plan. Because it can take you into a dark place. And some days that can just appear out of nowhere, where you're in the gym and next thing you're down a rabbit hole in your head thinking about, fuck, what if I don't ever meet anyone? What if everything that I'm sharing online is too much for a lad? What if now that I'm not drinking anymore, it's a turn off? And it, like, some lads have said that to me. They're like, fuck, so, like, you don't drink anymore? Like, you know, as if it's like an insult. So yeah, lots of worries, but I try and snap out of it, and that's what all this work does for me. I just have to, you can never stop those thoughts coming. It's actually how you, like, manage them each day now
and react to them, and say, you know what, I'm not going to let the wee chimp or these thoughts take over my whole week. It's only an hour or a day or whatever, and I can nip it in the bud. Someone asked me, just to finish off, sorry Sean, we're finishing now. I was doing an event at the Europa for for Lighthouse charity, and they says, so you started a podcast, why did you do that? And I says, I did start a podcast, and the reason why I done it, the reason behind the podcast was to get people on who have done relatively well in their lives, you know, whether it's in boxing or whether it's, you know, in their careers or their crafts, and people who are, you know, big in social media, and carry that platform and get them in to my office, and we sit and talk about some of the things that maybe aren't going too well with our lives. Sometimes it can be negative, sometimes it can be inspiring, but sometimes it's hard to listen to, but all the time I get the truth, and that means so much to me, because whenever I look at that's basically what I said as the answer, but the reason for that is we have a perception of people. Like, as the world, like anybody out there has a perception of me, I have a perception of you, whatever. And if I wasn't a part of your life and we weren't friends, and I was looking from the outside looking in, and I go like, fuck, a Carly Mckenna, County Down Under, has so many businesses going, has this, that, going to Kilimanjaro, doing this, doing that, I want to be like her. But Carly Mckenna has problems. Carly Mckenna is not a County Down Under. Carly Mckenna is a human being. Carly Mckenna wakes up some days and doesn't want to face the world. Carly Mckenna goes with a walk with her dad, with a coffee, and someone comes over and she doesn't want to speak to him. She's a human being.
Yeah.
So the more we can see that side of, she's not perfect.
Yeah.
Because no one's perfect.
Yeah.
And she's up there and she's trying to fucking maybe be provide this platform for other people then to become the best versions of themselves. And with that kind of world, then these kids that we're talking about, that your target audience is, then we're going to create better human beings and better people for not
being perfect all the time.
You know, so what are we striving for? And it's to be the best versions of ourselves, and there's no doubt that you're doing that. Like, so fair play to you.
Thanks, Donald.
No problem.
So are you.
Do you like how we split?
I love that.
But
It's actually inspired
truth.
me to go on now. I feel like I just want to go on and tell people, do you know what? This is the way it really is.
I'm fucked, totally true. But it's true, and I really like. Listen, we should do an hour one sometime, but
We will.
wrap
Go.
up.
You need to go.
Thanks very much.
Love you.
I appreciate it. And a huge thanks to Joxer for supporting this podcast, supporting this episode this week. Your help is greatly appreciated. And Caroline and me are going to go to Joxer after a dip, but we're actioning that before you go away again.
Done.
Yeah, and we'll see you there. So don't go check out Joxer, and I'll see you all soon.